it too like bright? It might be too bright. I'm actually headed home because today was my holiday Christmas party / lunch, and it ended like at 2 o'clock. So we're free to go home, which is why I look sort of presentable. I threw on some makeup. I have a nice dress on, and it's a regular dress. It's not like a pregnancy dress, but I have like leggings underneath. So I am feeling pretty good today. I feel like put together, and it's nice rather than feeling kind of frumpy and yucky. The food was excellent. We went to something called Paul's, what is it? Paul's Bistro All-American Grill. I don't know. It's some fancy schmancy like bistro where they serve like top-notch wine and stuff, and everything's overpriced, but it was delicious. I actually got my food to go because I couldn't even, like, I got really full off of the appetizers, so I didn't even finish my steak. I had a little tiny piece of it, and I'm taking the rest home to my husband. So, oh wow, complete stop on the freeway. So if you guys can tell from the background, there's a storm here that came down from up north, here in California. So there was like chaos this morning with the rain. Anytime it rains in California, it feels like everybody forgets how to drive, and that's just how it is down here. But thankfully the rain is giving me a break, and I'm driving home with like almost no rain at all. Yay! Because I hate driving in the rain. People get very stupid. And there was many accidents this morning, a lot of flooding, and just people being rude and cutting you off and driving crazy still in the rain. So I don't appreciate that, especially now that I'm pregnant. I am even more worried. So update on my pregnancy, I guess. Excuse me. I'm 32 weeks. My physician, gynecologist, whatever you want to call it, my doctor, is a little bit concerned about me and my amniotic fluid being low. So they pushed up all of my appointments. So I'm gonna have another ultrasound next week, and then the week after that I'm gonna have another checkup. And it's just been that way because they're just a little bit concerned, you know, to make sure that the baby's fine and that it's progressing the way it should. I gained 3 pounds this week after not gaining any weight last week, so I guess I'm catching up. So I'm 172, somewhere around there, so or 73, around that mark. So officially I've gained about 20 pounds during this pregnancy, which is not bothering me at all. It's whatever, as long as the baby's growing fine, then I'm fine. That's my biggest concern. I mean, the weight loss after my pregnancy is not that much of a concern. My biggest worry right now is keeping this baby alive. Like, I'm really freaking out because like I said, I've never been around newborns. Even my nieces and nephews, like, I refuse to hold them because newborns just freak me out, and now I'm not gonna have a choice because this little baby's gonna depend on me. So I'm finding myself being a lot more concerned. I was freaking out the other day. I was driving home, and all of a sudden I just started crying. I started crying because I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like, my biggest fear is that something's gonna happen to him that's completely my fault, because I'm the one in control of like keeping him alive after he's out of my womb. It's my responsibility to make sure that he grows up to be a functional, like, member of society. And by functional, I mean that he's emotionally stable, and that I instill in him like confidence and like just to believe in himself, and to know that if you really want something in life, you have to really work at it, and nothing is free, and like all these things that I don't know how. And I was asking my brother and my sister-in-law, and I asked random people, like, how do you teach that? How do you teach a kid to grow up and be responsible? How do you teach that? And responsible in the sense of even when I'm not there, you're still doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know how I got it from my parents, because like I said, growing up, I wasn't much of a liar. I didn't sneak out of my house. I didn't really curse at my parents. Like, I followed what they said, and I learned from them, you know, the value of hard work and a lot of things that I just don't know how I'm going to teach my son, and that's where my stress is coming from. And I just feel, I don't want to, I'm sorry, one day my son is going to see all this, but I don't want to fuck him up. I really don't. I don't want to say something that is going to stay with him forever and make him feel like he wasn't good enough or he didn't meet my expectations. I want him to grow up and meet his own expectations. So I'm just worried about that. One of the main reasons why I had chosen not to have children before was because I just felt like that it's such an important job. It's such an important job to bring another life into this world and to be fully 100% responsible for it. I don't think a lot of people understand or really start to think about that. They think about the financial part, I guess, and I think about that too, and everybody always says you're never ready, and that's true. But financially, we can handle it. Like, it's the teaching part and the full 100% responsibility for this life that freaks me out. And this is one test that I don't want to fail at. I want to give him a good life, but I don't want to give him such a good life that he feels entitled. There's this balance that you have to keep, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that balance. I don't want to be too harsh, and I don't want to be too lenient, and it's just, I'm scared to death that I'm going to make a wrong move and my kid's going to be like screwed up for life. That's my concern these days, is once he's home, after the hospital, after I have no doctors around me and no nurses, how am I going to keep him alive? And I don't know, that sounds really morbid, but that's what I've been thinking about, and I find myself panicking at times, and I'll go through a crying session, and Ron's like, you're going to be fine, we're going to be fine, and I'm like, I don't know, how do you know? So that's the only thing, as I start, my belly starts to grow bigger, and as I start to really, really come to the realization that he's going to be out soon, I am like freaking out in my mind. But I'm trying to keep it in check, and I'm trying to stay positive. I allow myself those days to cry and panic for maybe like 10 minutes. And then after that, I'm like, okay, let's go back to focusing on what we need to focus on. Do we have everything he needs? What else do I need to stock up on? Like reading articles, doing the baby classes. I have a CPR class next week. And then this week, my parents are moving in, so I have a lot of chaotic things going on. But hopefully Sunday afternoon, Ron and I can sit down and take this online childbirthing class, and just bang it out, and like, so that I'll know what to expect during labor. But that's where I'm at. I hope you guys have a really good weekend. I'm not sure when I'm going to have time to upload this video, but if you guys don't hear from me today, tomorrow, next day, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I will talk to you guys later.